Russia has more freedom than the UK. All right, so a lot of things have gone down this week. We're actually going to be going over a couple things from H-1B visas to the UK, really getting into it and arresting a bunch of people because of Facebook posts and a bunch of crazy stuff. And we're going to go over a couple minor news stories, but let's hit the top ones first, which is firstly, I want to talk about the New Orleans attack. So there's a big terrorist attack in New Orleans. It was in the French Quarter. It was carried out by a guy waving an ISIS flag. They say he was alone, the FBI. That was their latest thing. They immediately cover up the ISIS flag, though. I'm not really sure why that is. Kind of weird. But either way, another Muslim attack on the West. And for America, it's a little bit less common for us to have, Muslim attacks here compared to Europe. Europe, proximity-wise and also population-wise, has allowed far more Muslim immigrants than the U.S., so they have a much bigger problem. So the U.S. is a little behind the curve, which is actually good, right? Because there's already a sentiment of hey, let's be really careful about who we let in, and now it's going to really go into hyperdrive as we continue to have more attacks. If you're not familiar with Sean Ryan actually brought on a former CIA informant, and she was actually in charge. She actually had a couple job titles throughout her career at the CIA, but one of her jobs was in Pakistan, and they would the CIA designates per country, so they have a couple people assigned to really keep tabs on what's happening in that country, and they're actually deployed, which is kind of wild. But, obviously they're not U.S. military. But either way, she actually had some interesting input, and she has informants all over because she still has a lot of contacts from the CIA, and she was actually she's been saying it for a couple months now, that Iran has a bunch of terrorist cells within the country, and that they're going to be striking really, really soon. And that she doesn't see a way around it currently because they've let in so many through the southern border. So we'll see. Kind of brace for impact kind of moment here in the States. But I hope that they don't target red places. But hitting New Orleans, it is going to be easier to hit liberal areas, I think, because of just proximity and it's leftist, right? It's going to be cities where the most population is. It's a more vulnerable situation as it is, but also nobody's armed there, right? So people aren't really too scared to be doing anything crazy. So pretty wild. But the gunman in New Orleans actually got out of the car, started shooting out with the cops, and injured two of them. Not sure of their condition currently, but we'll keep you guys updated. Keep a lookout for our shorts. We'll be kind of cutting up little news clips for here and there and kind of putting them out as well. But so H-1B visas, that's kind of the next big story of the week. Elon Musk goes to war with the right wing. So the right wing they're completely done with Elon Musk. It's pretty wild. They hate him now. And Elon, in response, started pulling a bunch of people's check marks. He banned a bunch of Groyper accounts. If you're not familiar with Groypers, it's Nick Fuentes. He's a far-right commentator. He got banned because he criticized Israel. He got banned from the banking system. He's not allowed to have bank accounts, credit cards. He's not allowed to have any applications on his phone, like Airbnb, any type of car rental. He's not allowed... I don't know if he's allowed to travel anymore, to fly. I don't believe he's allowed to fly anymore. But yeah, it's just some crazy, crazy stuff. So either way, he has what's called Groypers. That's like his Groyper army. That's his followers or whatever, or people who really like him. And it's a frog. That's their emblem. So Elon Musk, the troll, takes a frog, puts it as his profile picture, changes his name to Kiki Maximus. I don't know what it was. But either way, he's just trying to troll Nick Fuentes. Because Nick Fuentes and the right wing are very, very much against H-1B visas. And what that is it's a worker that comes over from overseas who is given a visa to work. They're not given permanent citizenship. They're not even given a path to citizenship. So they are no way going to be invested in the country, what would I say, long term in a way, but in the kind of opposite direction, they are able to be renewed forever. So they don't have to worry about ever running out of it. Currently, they're around. The last source I looked at had over 700,000 visas, H-1B visas out currently, which is a crazy amount, especially since they currently allow 85,000 new each year now, because it's been ramping up, and now we've approached 85,000. But the government, nonprofits, and research, if you're described as research, they're not applied under the cap. So it's capped at 85,000. They can only give out 85,000 H-1B visas. But if you're a nonprofit, if you do any type of serious research that classifies, I guess, as getting around the cap, or government, you can get around the cap. So there's actually a lot more than just 85,000. Elon Musk and Vivek actually want to increase these numbers because why? They want cheap labor. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, well, these are really high-end jobs and we just want to compete, with the world. And yes, there is something called brain drain. It's a common occurrence for a lot of different countries that suck, is that if your country stinks, guess what? Your top talent is going to be leaving because they're going to be, let's say you have a country, let's just use an example of Central America. If you have a country in Central America, the IQ distributions, all these things are going to be limiting, and you're only going to have a certain amount of people that are going to be hyper performers, and in the, I would say, outliers of these curve distributions. So what ends up happening is that these people start looking elsewhere for the best, and the best places, the most opportunity. So, for instance, the United States is that kind of perfect place. This happened to France way back in the day, back when you had the Protestants versus the Catholics, and the Catholics were really purging out anyone who was, heretics or whatnot. The problem is that they really, in particular, pushed it against the more upper class. So what happened was they lost a lot of their engineers, they lost a lot of their inventors, and they all went to England. They went to these different places, business people, they went to England, and that was their natural competitor, and England ends up creating an amazing empire, and they rule, for hundreds of years. So that's what's kind of interesting. It's called brain drain, where your top talent leaves to another country. So guess what? You're left with the same country, but all your smart people leave. So that's what the United States, I can see an advantage. Technically, yes, you do have a big advantage because guess what? If you take the top talent from India, from Sri Lanka, or wherever else, Nepal, you're going to really brain drain those countries, and you're going to get the top talent here in the country. The flip side of that is you have to also kind of balance it with American talent. America currently we're not getting enough engineers out of our schools, and this is a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons is that men have a proclivity towards engineering and towards STEM fields, and we've really discouraged them from going to university. This is a big problem. You think about it from the perspective of an English major. Yeah, we're pumping out a lot of English majors, but they're women, right? So now all of a sudden we have this massive curve of, men are not going to university in the numbers they were before, and women are really outpacing them. So a majority of people going to university are females, and the minority now is males. And what's happening is that's reflecting in our output of engineers, our output of STEM workers. So now we don't have enough STEM workers, so we're like, oh, what do we do? Rather than fix the institutions, we're going to import the labor. And with these H-1B visas, it really works out for companies because they can give them out. Guess what? They can't switch jobs. And not only that, if they're fired or laid off, they get shipped back to the country. So it's pretty crazy. You really have a slave at that point. And I understand that you're paying them or whatever, but you're in a position where Tesla, SpaceX, and all these really, Oracle, any company that's really, really ahead of the curve, front of the industry, they're going to be requiring more than 40 hours a week, right? You're going to be 80 to 100 hours a week. That's like an openly accepted thing out of any SpaceX or these other companies. So if you're expected to work 80, 100 hours a week, but you're getting paid 20% less, right? That's a perfect deal for the company. Perfect deal for really big corporations. So I do understand. I know Bernie Sanders hates it. He actually tweeted out today just talking about how H-1B program is not about the best and brightest. It's about the cheapest, right? It's about displacing the American worker, which is kind of interesting. We see that these, a lot of far-right individuals are kind of aligning with the communists, which is, if you're the establishment, I'd be a little scared of that because we know how that ends, is that one side wins and the establishment's gone after that. But yeah, so either way, it does seem like it's going to hurt American workers. I'm going to be completely honest. I have a lot of engineering friends. It's about a year right now wait to get a job. If this H-1B program gets fired up, it's probably going to be a lot longer than that, I'll be honest. Or you're going to have to know somebody on the inside. The problem that I have is what's going to happen is it's a supply-demand thing. So the whole concept is, hey, if we have a big demand here, we're going to naturally have supply increase because there's going to be more pay, there's going to be more incentives to go in that field. So for instance, if we have a massive need for engineers, what's going to happen? Our pay's going to go up. People are going to be like, ooh, engineering is a really good career. I can go into $80,000 of debt, but it's worth it because I'm going to be making $120 out of school, right? People start doing the math. But if all of a sudden what you do is you say, okay, we have little supply, right? We don't have that great supply of engineers, but we have a big demand. Rather than making that kind of supply meet the demand, what we're doing is we'll import it. So that's how we've been doing it, and that's how we're planning on meeting this huge demand. Just import it. So guess what? We're going to keep that supply-demand really even, so we're never going to have America produce more engineers because there's no demand for it. So what's going to happen is our supply is going to dwindle and continue to dwindle in the U.S. for STEM fields, and it's going to be bad because these people are not invested in America. They're going to be taking these really good high-paying jobs, and they're going to be sending their money home, right? If you're an Indian, I'm not a citizen here. Why would I invest in here? Why would I buy a house here? Why would I create a business here? Why would I create... I'm going to buy a house at home. I'm going to make sure my family's taken care of, right? That's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I might buy a house while I'm here, right? But it's not in the intent of growing the economy, growing America. You're going to be sending things back home. So it's just a problem. It's called short-term solution, which is, we need a quick fix. And Elon Musk, I understand he wants cheap labor, and I understand a lot of these guys do. But yeah, I actually don't disagree with Elon Musk on much, but this is definitely one of them I'm hesitant of. I think that we should completely shut down the H-1B visas for now, for a time, because we need to figure out what's going on, right? If we don't do that, these corporations will not lobby to get more engineers out of our universities, right? That's what should be happening. What should be happening is we go, okay, well, why are men not going to university? That's the first question. Oh, well, because the institutions hate males, because the institutions are a bunch of socialist, wimps, and they are pushing gay rights, right? All these things that kind of push the males away from university. Okay, well, let's fix that. And it's going to be a natural, systemized process where we could fix it. But right now, we're kind of in big trouble. So H-1B visas, they're going to pump them up. They're going to get a bunch of cheap labor. If you're an American worker, you're kind of screwed. But, be innovative. Be innovative. Figure out a way to make yourself more valuable than everyone. And, one day you'll be able to kind of fix a problem that you once stumbled into. So, but yeah, Cody, I want to bring you in. What's kind of your opinion on the H-1B? Like, is there anything in particular that you're curious about or that worries you or reassures you kind of about the H-1 visa?
Just kind of seconding your statement on it's not going to incentivize corporations to lobby to get more students out of our universities. And to address the question, like you said, why are we having a decrease in attendance to especially STEM programming for males in our universities? And it makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Supply demand, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, you look at China and what are they pumping out? Like so absurd amount of engineers.
So many.
And I mean, like they're pumping out yearly what we have in total.
Yeah. Yep.
And
the irritating thing is, rather than these so-called, Elon Musk, he's an innovator. He's a great guy. I believe that he's been a positive on America in total. But rather than saying, okay, well, look at this. Let's look at this from a bird's eye view, right? Let's look at the whole thing. Let's figure out how to fix it. They go, oh, well, let's just import, right? So rather than saying, oh, China's putting out so many engineers. How can we put out a lot more engineers? We go, no, we're just going to import. Oh, China's pumping them out. We'll take them, right? Like it seems like a quick fix. And if you know anything about anything, quick fixes are typically gratifying at the very beginning, and the dopamine wears off, and yeah, so it's going to be kind of a problem. What you're going to see, what it's going to really drive is the wealth gap in the country, where you're now going to see a class of people that are engineers and are computer scientists and doctors and these other people that are going to be sending a lot of their money overseas. So you're going to run into this issue where Americans are now only represented in the lower middle class and poverty level and the highest echelons of society. So it's going to be kind of a problem where, it's going to be rough. And then you also have the problem of these people don't have the same culture. So it's a multi-leveled issue. It's an economic issue. It's a cultural issue. And yeah, it's really difficult. It's very, very difficult. And also, at what point let's say that it also makes us really reliant on this. Think about this. What if India says, we don't like this brain drain on our country. They've been very hostile towards us in typical policy. And they say, you know what? We want our engineers, right? We need brain power. So what if they say, hey, everybody's got to come home? What does that do? So you're telling me that all of our industry shut down overnight because we got to send 180,000, 200,000 Indians back to India? So it just puts us in a vulnerable situation. We have the same problem in manufacturing, right? Everything's manufactured in China right now. So now we're like, 80% of Apple products are manufactured in China. Well, if China gets angry at us, that's all done, right? Our main product for electronics is we're not going to be able to get any. So they're diversifying, but it's like a 15, 20-year plan. We need that like next week, right? We need that next year, and we need a 5-year plan, not a 15-year plan, 20-year plan. So, it's really, really crazy. So I see it as going down a similar path where we're just going to be so reliant on foreign countries, and it's going to put ourselves in a pinch if things were to hit the fan, right? Let's just say that it doesn't even involve us. Let's just say China and India get into a conflict, which is always a possibility. They hate each other. They constantly bicker and fight over the border. Actually, China is moving into Bhutan. What country are they moving into? They're moving into some border countries. There's constant border disputes, but India's occupying a certain portion of it. China's occupying a certain portion of it, and it's just a mess. So if they go to a conflict and India recalls all their engineers because they need them for building rockets, creating weapon systems, defending against China, we're going to get our whole industry shut down, and we didn't even make anybody mad. Doesn't have anything to do with us. So that's my worry. My worry is it makes us vulnerable. It hurts the American worker. And yes, for the instant, for the next 5 years, our programs will really advance. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Not good. Not good. Personally.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, it's not great.
Good luck to everybody hitting the job market.
Yeah, you're screwed. Sorry, guys, but market's closed, and that market's America. If you're a man, a straight man in America, not looking good. Not looking good
for a job or a wife. Export,
way.
baby, export.
Export and import. We gotta go international, like our friend Armando says, international love.
That's right, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. No, but yeah. So New York also. I wanted to kind of go into a couple other things, news articles I saw. New York passes. Moment of silence for just the brain cells that have been killed over this. $1 billion in recreational marijuana sales. Libertarian Caleb wants to be so happy and, start clapping his hands, But guess what? That's retarded. You cannot have a libertarian viewpoint on this. I think it's just childish. But yeah. Marijuana's bad. Marijuana's bad because you don't want a portion of your population, particularly young men, sedated on drugs. I don't understand why that's so hard for people to understand. Like, why are people like, I love the libertarian argument, well, they can do whatever they want. It's like, well, first off, no, you can't, right? First off, you can't do whatever you want, or else this society would be a mess. You do what you should, right? That's the concept of a man. I mean, responsibility. Your greatest fulfillment in life will come from responsibility. I have talked to a lot of guys who have done way better than me, who are way before me, who have started families, and all that's based on responsibility, right? I mean, the main concept of having a kid, that doesn't really make sense as far as why that would bring you happiness. What's the responsibility of it, right? It's the fact that you're no longer getting that instant gratification. You're no longer high all the time. You're no longer smoking marijuana. So anyway, $1 billion in Americans' productivity just destroyed. Anyway, I'm so anti-cannabis, I can't say it enough. I'm becoming more and more. I used to be pro it, and I used to be more libertarian.
Yeah, we need to ask 2021 Caleb what he thinks about this.
I'd be like, hey, man, let everybody smoke. Freedom. Freedom means that you can do whatever you want. Oh, my goodness. Listen, Caleb.
This cracks me up.
No, it doesn't. You can't do whatever you want because that's dumb. So anyway, what it is what it is. No, I mean, I do understand on the medical side. You know, I do get that. But on the recreational side, I'm sorry, but these inner cities aren't productive enough. So get your act together, and we're cutting off your weed sources. But it's what it is. So Liz Cheney. Oh yeah. By the way, Biden administration. Round of applause. The Biden administration. This person has done so much for the nation. I want you to think in your mind. Think about who's done the most for this nation. Who has done been on the front lines defending us, who has created the most wealth? Maybe it's an innovator.
Liz Cheney.
That's who I was thinking. Yes. The most who loves the Cheneys more than me? I love the Cheneys. The Democrats love the Cheneys. The Republicans love the Cheneys. Everybody loves the Cheneys.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Cheneys. So Biden gives Liz Cheney the Medal of Honor because she is just the most, she's really, honestly, the best figurehead that we have in America, and I would say probably the greatest role model for every one of our kids. Yeah, she's the best role model. It's Jesus, and then it's Liz Cheney.
He gave her the Presidential Medal or Presidential Citizenship Medal. It's the highest medal that a citizen can get.
Yes,
it's not the Medal of Honor.
It's not the medal. Yeah, my bad. Liz Cheney. Yeah. Chairman medal because of her search, or I guess she's on the committee for J6, and that's why. It's just really funny because it's like I don't really get we just our bar's so low.
She literally only got her job in the Senate because of her dad. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nobody would have elected her if it wasn't for her father.
Yeah, I think she was in the House. I'm pretty sure, and she was from Wyoming. And yeah, I mean, she wrote off the Kurt health over.
Nobody would have elected her.
Nobody.
They only just knew that name from Vice President Dick Cheney.
Well, and to be fair, like, it is amazing what a name does, right? Like, and it's amazing what Trump has done. Like, I know I'm against Trump on the H-1B visas, whatever, but like, it is amazing what Trump did as far as remaking the party. Because the party used to be Dick Cheney's. It used to be the Bushes, right? It used to just be dudes that had no spine. They were horrible. They were corrupt. They were honestly just liberals. And Trump kind of put it in the spotlight and was like, hey, guess what? You can't be corrupt anymore. You guys don't do anything. You're sorry. You're good for nothing, right? And it went from the Republican Party supporting the Bushes and the Cheneys to a complete switch. And now if you ask 8 out of 10 Republicans, they're going to boo a Cheney, right? They're going to boo a George Bush. So it's pretty impressive. I mean, just in that short time. I mean, how long? 8 years, 9 years Trump's been on the scene really in a heavy way. It's pretty quick. But yeah. So anyway, do you have anything to add as far as on those? Because I pretty much covered everything besides the UK.
No, I think you hit it pretty good. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling the greatest. So.
Yeah, Cody's sick.
Caleb's got me in slavery here. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm not feeling.
He's on an H-1B1 visa.
No, it's not AIDS.
Yeah, I was like,
Sounds
that's
similar.
HIV, baby. Oh man, no, is that why you were throwing the poop in that video? I saw you overseas. You were just stuffing your head in that pile. Of
Yeah, I
crap.
was just preparing for what's to come.
You're preparing for the new culture. He wants to be more culturally sensitive, so he started. I don't even want to say some of the videos I've seen on Twitter. These Indians are out of their mind.
Gail will send me some stuff, and I'm just like, why are you sending me this? And
Like-
then yeah.
Why are certain things acceptable
Misery.
in society? Like,
Well, I wouldn't consider that acceptable in our society, at least.
that's the
but
thing.
It will be.
I'm against colonization until I see these videos, and I'm like, they were right. Like,
The one guy was just he like put a cup. Was it under the bowl cow?
it was peeing.
And it peed, and he just like put a cup and filled up the cup, and then he proceeds to just drink the
Chug
cup,
it.
like not just like a sip, not like a. It was just like, just chugging it.
Oh my god.
It was so disgusting, and I've tolerated some pretty gross things in my life, but that seemed a lot.
It's not just that one though. There's tens of those videos
Yeah,
that I've seen.
that
Like
was-
different people. And then not only that, but they also have the Poop Festival Day. Can you pull up the Poop Festival Day? I want to see this.
I can, yeah.
It's
can
a
pull
day
some-
of. It's a beautiful
Let's
day.
see.
I think it really just incorporates what you should be as a country. You know, innovation and what? Oh, I'm looking at what Cody's searching, and I for
Oh,
a
wait,
second
I think it's generating
he's generating images of the Poop Festival Day
Let's
in
see
India.
what it said.
Here we
Let's
go.
see what it does. Oh boy.
It looks like cupcakes.
Oh, it's the poop emoji.
It's the poop emoji.
Okay, yeah.
Because
this
the
is
Grok's
not
too
what we want.
European. It's just like there's no way that this
Yeah.
actually happened.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, look at real photos on Google.
See if Google.
They probably blurred them out. There's no way that they're actually gonna let us. First thing that comes
Dang.
up immediately. It's an annual festival. Oh
Holy
my god!
How?
You gotta throw up a couple of these photos. These people, they know what they
Oh.
love.
My goodness.
You know, you wonder how they got conquered by like 45
Oh
British
my.
guys. And
I'm
then I look
gonna-
at this and I'm like, checks out. Checks out.
I'm just gonna find some of these pictures and just.
And just put them up in rotation. This is horrific. This is horrific.
this is wild.
I am so against whatever this is. Oh.
They're praying to the poop.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it because like is it Hinduism? I don't want to misculture religion here. Or
I don't care. They're rubbing poop on themselves.
okay,
I don't give a rat's ass.
but isn't it Hinduism where they like cows is in the
Sacred.
they become a cow in the afterlife? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, they do
So,
have. Yeah, they
they're
they
like-
do believe in reincarnation.
They're
and stuff.
covering themselves in like the fecal matter of reincarnated beings. Is that
I
kind
still
of the
don't
thought
like.
process?
I still don't like that. Apparently, it gives
I'm
you
not
luck.
saying you have to like it. I'm just trying to
don't-
understand.
I more than
the
don't
thought
like it.
process
Go
here,
up real
Caleb.
quick. Go up real quick. I wonder if you could play this video. You see the Instagram post? Go down. Go down. Click on that one photo
here?
that you already had. No, click on the last photo that you had up.
I don't remember what I had up.
Yeah.
here.
Click on.
There's a YouTube video here.
Click
Cow
on a
poo-
couple, but
Cow
no.
poo battle.
There's one on Instagram that's literally shows them.
oh.
Yeah, that one.
oh.
There it is. Click on that.
Let's see if
And I don't know if you're allowed to play this. You
not
could-
gonna
yeah,
play
yeah,
the audio.
yeah,
but
no audio. But look at that. It's literally they're just chucking poop everywhere. And it's yeah. that's wild. It's a yearly festival. So you want to go, Cody?
No, I'm good.
You're racist. Cody,
We
I
can
knew
ask,
it.
we can
I
ask
kn-
our buddy Armando if he
I-
wants to go. We'll see how he feels about that.
Dude, you know it would be hilarious if we just took our friend group to India, didn't tell them what we were going to.
Okay, let's be honest. I love you guys, but half of them probably wouldn't survive.
No, there's no way.
No
They would
way.
catch like whatever third world disease as soon as they got off the plane. But I mean that's
That's wild.
to be fair, that's a lot. But anyway, so that's India. That's what we're importing. That's cool. Not really. I'm kind of pissed off about it, but
We're getting canceled. It's okay.
we're getting canceled. Well, they shouldn't be throwing poop at each other. It's not like
agree.
like it's not rocket science, you know, but they're supposed to be doing rocket science here. Okay. They have a hot tub of cow dung.
The title of this picture says, "To protect themselves from coronavirus, these Indians are bathing in cow dung."
These people.
They might be protecting themselves from coronavirus, but introducing a bunch of other stuff.
They've got to have so many different worms and stuff. They've got to just be
That's
infested
crazy.
with parasites. But hey, to each their own.
Yeah,
each culture.
I don't think America really has to worry about pollution. I think India needs to.
Bro, that's what I've been saying forever. Like, yeah, these massive tire fires that they have in Qatar and Kuwait, it's like, I don't think we're doing too bad. They literally pull up the tire fires. Do tire fires? Kuwait. Yep. That's insane. Watch a video of it. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh my goodness!
Pull up a photo. That is insane.
Wow.
If you look at it, actually tells you it's millions. It's literally millions of tires that they burn.
I see it.
50 million. That one says 50 million tires. But either way, it's like, why aren't we shutting down? Like if the globalists and if these people are so upset with, let's say, CO2 emissions, carbon emissions, or if they're so upset about pollution, why aren't they tackling stuff like this? Like, I'm going to tell you right now, us using nuclear power or us even, let's say, burning fossil fuels is nowhere near as polluting or horrible to the environment as burning 50 million tires. And, I mean, this is not uncommon for a lot of different countries. So either way, I mean, Mongolia does the same thing. India does it like crazy. Kuwait is pretty wild with it. It just, I don't get it. Like, if you want to be totalitarian, there's certain things I kind of get, right? It's like, I get that you're like, hey, you guys can't be doing that. That's crazy. Because you're ruining the earth for us, right? And there does have to come a point. Pull up a picture of Eric Smith, Cody. I said his name wrong. His name's not Eric Smith.
Eric Prince.
Eric Prince. I'm sorry. It's Eric Prince. It's been a long day. In my defense, Mr. Eric Prince. He's a happy little sucker, but he's actually a really cool guy. He actually was in charge of a lot of private military contract. He was a big military contractor. Either way, he contracts a ton of ex-Navy SEALs and current guys, and yeah, he's a pretty badass dude. He's a billionaire, but either way, his whole opinion is, hey, these people across the world, whether it's countries from, in Africa in particular, and he hasn't specifically said India, but I think it's implied, these people almost need to be colonized because they're becoming a national security risk, right? Because Cody's laughing. But genuinely,
I'm uncomfortable.
What? Cody's uncomfortable. But I'm not. Oh, by the way, this is Eric Prince's opinion. This is not my own. But it's not yet. I have to do more research. I haven't fully evaluated it. But his whole opinion is that they are posing a massive national security risk for terrorism and whatnot, and that we should occupy most of these countries. And I don't necessarily think he's wrong. Look what happened when the British left India. They're having poop festivals. Sorry, but I'm not saying that innovation's happening. In Kuwait, we leave Kuwait. They're burning 50 million tires. They're destroying the earth. So, I don't know. I'm not really 100% for total colonization because I think we have so many problems here in America. We need to fix that first. I mean, good Lord. But you can't export something if you haven't fixed your house first. You need to get your house in order first. So I think that they're a little ahead of the ball, but let's fix our country first. But I do understand why it could be really a real big problem. So anyway, that's the founder of Blackwater. You can look him up, Eric Prince. But yeah. Anyway, we kind of got off a little tangent there. That was pretty fun. Poop festivals and just partying it up. Cody's dead over there. Cody's dead. What time are we currently? We're 36 minutes. Okay. Well, we'll do one more. So what topic we'll close on is, because I mentioned it, I have to talk about it, is the UK. The UK has now locked up. I'm going to do a little exercise with you guys. How many people do you think Putin arrested for things that they posted on social media in a year's time? I want you to guess in your own mind, and you go, oh, the election during, I think it was actually election year in Russia. So there's a lot of people who went to jail. He arrested around 400, give or take. How many do you think would the UK arrested? The UK is a 3x smaller, 3 times smaller, I'm pretty sure. If you look that up, Cody. Just
in terms of population.
Yeah, population. Exactly, yeah. Not size. Definitely a lot more than that. But, so guess how many people that the UK has arrested and sent to prison because of Facebook posts or just social media posts? Over 3,000. Over 3,000. It's just insane. The UK is one of the most totalitarian countries out there right now, because if you disagree with the status quo, if you criticize the government in any which way, especially on the lines of immigration and culture, you're towing the line. It's scary. You might get canceled. You might get thrown in prison. So anyway, it's just a total mess. There's a guy named Tommy Robinson. He's a really interesting guy. He ended up doing a documentary called Silenced. Ironically, he ended up getting silenced. But he's an interesting guy because he was really exposing these rape gangs in the UK that were immigrants and, from Pakistan, from India, from all these different places, the Middle East. And, they have a proclivity to rape. It's just what it is. That's what the statistics say. The statistics show that a British citizen who is originally from Britain just rapes at a much, much lower level than an immigrant. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. But the fact that what'd you say?
I think it could go back to, having an investment in the country. Kind of what we were talking about before.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
If you don't live there, who cares if it goes to hell?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's not your country.
Deal. Yeah.
Right? Like,
you don't care. You don't have deep ties with the relations of the people. You don't have deep ties to the actual land. You haven't built anything. You've just imported into there. So who cares if it burns?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mean, our grandfathers, right? And our grandfathers' dads, right? They all worked here. They helped build the country. If you don't have that, I do wonder if there's an element to that. But either way, it's kind of crazy. He ends up getting arrested. They gave him a terrorism charge for not unlocking his phone so they could go through it and they could see exactly what his text messages were to, I guess, his people he's talked to, which is crazy because he hasn't actually done anything violent. He hasn't had, he hasn't planned terrorist attacks or anything. No attacks actually happened, but yet they are charging him with terrorism because he won't open up his phone. And if you're a straight man in Britain, a white straight man in Britain, you're a terrorist. I mean, that's the message from the government. And if they view that as that, it's their own prerogative. It's Britain. To be fair, you guys voted this in. So the Brits can complain all they want, but you kind of voted these people in. So have fun with democracy over there. Yeah. So either way, he got arrested for not unlocking his phone, and then also they claim that he was, smearing people or whatever, which is just insane. Because the defendant was actually funded by the government. The government actually put it was crazy amounts of money into the defendant's case, or actually the prosecutor's case against him. He being the defendant, my bad. But either way, it's just insane. Anyway, long story short, he gets 18 months in solitary confinement. 18 months in solitary confinement for pointing out the facts that I said here. That's what he got 18 months of solitary confinement for. That's insane. It's totally politically motivated, and it's a message. It's a message. It's saying, hey, if you do not fall in line, you will be jailed. You will be tortured, right? Solitary confinement is torture. It's actually defined. I mean, it does crazy things to your mind. And yeah, it's just really insane. So I would much rather be in Russia than the UK. That's a fact. There's much more freedom in Russia in what you can say, what you can do, than you can in anywhere in Europe. I would say outside of Poland and Hungary. I mean, that's a crazy stat. It's a crazy thing to say. But honestly, not even in Hungary. They're in the EU. Poland, same thing. You really got to be worried. Russia wins. Russia wins. It's crazy. It's crazy how that's even a comparison, right? You think, oh, Russia's this totalitarian country. Well, unfortunately, we've kind of gone into a worse version of even totalitarianism, which is the concept of a totalitarian. You can look and you can say, oh, there's the king, there's the grand poobah. Well, what happens when they get too evil? Well, they're overthrown, they're replaced. Assad, right, in Syria. All right, we get rid of him. The whole regime falls. He's gone. He's gone. Therefore, the system changes, but not in the UK, right? How many people? How you have to change the whole structure. So the system is designed to be totalitarian, and it's not going to leave. You can't get rid of it. So that's kind of the problem that they're going to face. So anyway, it's pretty crazy. They're passing hate speech laws. Canada's doing the same thing.
The great and powerful Justin Trudeau.
I hope he looks upon us with smiling eyes, especially when he's in blackface. Freaking Justin Trudeau. Can you imagine having the guts to be calling other people racist, and you dressed up in blackface when you were younger? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. You're so full of crap. I don't want to hear. Cancel him. Cancel Justin Trudeau. No, he needs more than canceling. But anyway, a spanking. I'm sorry. That's illegal, I think, in Canada too. You can't do anything in Canada. You can't spank your kids. You can't say slurs. What? It's no fun. Screw Canada. I want to have fun. I want to tweet wild stuff. I don't want to have to tweet and then look outside and see if the cops are there. But either way, it's
you would go to jail. Straight to jail. Believe it or not, no trial, no nothing. Jail.
Dude, we got to make a meme of that, which is instead of it's Canada. Straight to jail. Undercooked fish, believe it or not, straight to jail.
Yeah. Oh, we're totally gonna have to do a bit on that.
Yeah, we are. That's gonna be good.
Base Santa wasn't the first.
Base Santa wasn't the
last. Sorry, it was the first, wasn't the last.
Yeah,
there
that's
we
right.
go. Words are hard.
It's a long day. We've been working a long day. We're doing it here late at night, but anyway, guys, thank you. That's pretty much all the news. I was going to cover tariffs. We'll do it another time when I'm a little bit more on the ball. I'm a little off the ball tonight. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, please. Subscribe as well here on YouTube. And, we'll catch you on the next one. But till then, don't live in the UK.